But we move on now, and in a dramatic legal turn, Bangladesh's top court has acquitted A.T.M. Azharul Islam, a senior leader of the Jamaat-e-Islami party who had been on death row since 2014. Islam was convicted of rape, murder and genocide during the 1971 War of Independence from Pakistan. He was among 6 top opposition leaders sentenced during the long rule of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who fled to India last year after being ousted in a student-led uprising. The court's decision comes after Islam's final appeal, filed earlier this year, was heard by a full Supreme Court bench led by Chief Justice Syed Rifat Ahmed. The lawyer called it a fortunate verdict, noting that 5 others convicted in similar cases have already been executed. Supporters of Jamaat-e-Islami are celebrating the ruling, calling previous executions judicial killings. With Hasina in exile and her party banned, the political landscape is shifting ahead of elections expected by mid-2026. Jamaat's leaders now seek public forgiveness for past mistakes, while rivals continue to criticise the party's pro-Pakistan role in 1971. Well, joining us to discuss this latest development is Prashanta Kumar Shil, an academic and political commentator who's joining us from Dhaka. Prashanta, thank you ever so much for being here. This, of course, is a divisive topic, but what is the consensus currently within Bangladesh following the announcement of this acquittal?
Yes, you know that the very sophisticated case today and that is from A.T.M. Azharul Islam. You know that? And A.T.M. Azharul Islam is one of the pioneer, is a leader from Jamaat-e-Islami. And you know that also the 2014, and he is in December 30, he is arrested, and that is then is the final convicted in 2019 from the Supreme Court gave his jurisdiction is death penalty. So now very little bit surprised to see that from appellate division from this time from our Supreme Court, and that they can mention that there is no criminal offense for that. Very, very surprising, you know that, and also he is in. We know that in the history of between his charge and from 1971, what is his role at all here? So we know that also that he is a president of that time from Chhatra Sangha from Rangpur unit in Jamaat-Islam. So and he is very major for his from 11 civilian from his Rangpur Shadar. So that is one kind of thing, you know, that there's a lot of church between him. What is happening when you know that in 1971, what is a criminal offense and genocide is there. But we have very little bit surprised that what is happening in the present time in the Bangladesh in jurisdictions. We know that we have a very good trust in our jurisdiction system, but with that we see that there is some politicalizations. So what are you can from your jurisdictions depend on the politics. So you know that the present government is a Jamaat affiliated government. So that's why we see that who are the coming front of the Jamaat activities, that they are to bail, easily bail. So what we see in the first desert, in the what the Sheikh Hasina's government done, that if you are affiliated in the Bangladesh Assembly, that is free. So what is we see that is it the question from that is it our jurisdiction is independent? So this is a big question. Is it our jurisdiction is fair? So it's a big question. So you know that the very good trust the people who are in the rural people and who are the normal civilian people, they haven't trust about the jurisdictions, the Supreme Court and appellate division. But what we see that there is a political jurisdiction is happening. So what if you are enrolled in the government, that you can bail anything, you can just doing any occurrence that it will be bailed. So it is very unfortunate for our country and unfortunate for our society at all. So if you practice more and more, it's a very much happening, very wrong happening in our country. It's not very good practice for all of you. And I think you know that already he is convicted in 2019. He is they can got in death penalty. But what is happening to 2020?
Prashanta, I'm sorry to interrupt. We are running shorter on time, and I just want to ask you one final question on the current state of play within Bangladesh. There have been reports within recent days that Yunus has spoken about potentially stepping down, a potential rift with the military. Can you just provide some context on the current ongoing situation in Bangladesh politically ahead of an election which we don't know when will be, and there are of course calls for it to happen sooner rather than later?
You know that the present political systems, because you know that the present government, you know that Dr. Mohammed Yunus from in front of this is a caretaker government. But you see that the government, there is a three affiliated group are here. One is the Professor Yunus, one is the Jamaat, and one is the major party is BNP. So, and who is the ruling from? The three stakeholder is there. So that is a very much sophisticated point. What are you can take a decisions? It will be more be divided rules than here. So one is the thing, and you can see that the whole scenario in Bangladesh in the present time it's a you know that they're talking about the humanitarian corridor in Myanmar. It's very talking of issues, and you can talk about the Chittagong port and also the Mangla port. So yes, lots of issues is coming from here. So we see that is out of the box. There's international pressure game is here. So in Bangladesh now is a turnover to playground. So what is playground is here from is the pressure from USA, is the pressure from China. So what is happening from Bangladesh? You know that the Bangladesh is a sovereign country. We believe it's a sovereign country and we have a very good relation to the neighbor. But what is the situation in the present time? We have not a good relation with our neighbor. So what is now the time is very crystal clear. The politicians and who is come from the entire sitting ruling of the government, they have pressure from the international affairs, from the international actually call in the hide and seek policy and also the game theory. So it's not a good practice for the Bangladesh, the whole Bangladesh, because you know that the people want to sovereign and freedom country. We think that our country is
yes,
free.
Prashant, I'm sorry to interrupt you once again. We are unfortunately out of time, but thank you very much for joining us. I do interrupt because we want to bring you some breaking news now, and the Trump administration plans to cancel all remaining federal contracts with Harvard, citing alleged bias and anti-Semitism. This follows freezing billions in federal grants and attempts to ban foreign students from enrolling. Harvard opposes these actions, calling them unconstitutional and harmful to education, research and international students' futures. We, of course, when we have more information, will bring you all the updates on this continuing dispute between the Trump administration and Harvard University. We stay in North America. King Charles III is set to deliver